Ayan. Batupik, merong warrant of arrest, no? Pero bago yan, mag-chismis ka muna tayo dito sa page ni Attorney Rowena Guanzon. Komentuhan natin yung kanyang mga ano. Adik sa'yo. Awit sa akin. Napatawa tuloy ako dyan. Oh. Ayan. Tawa. Ayan. Nilang sawana. Hinahanap-hanap kita now playing. Ano ba kasi yung ano dyan? Okay. Ayan. Turo dito. Turo doon. Laging walang alam. So, anong sabi ni Attorney, maraming puno at hindi pa kasi kinakalbo ang mga bundok nung elementary ka around 1800s. Natapos ko ang elementary. Buopol kasi yan eh. Sabi ni Attorney, ang binibigay natin ngayon ay 5,000 sa partially damaged na bahay at 10,000 naman sa fully damaged na bahay. Ano yan, Bibi? Magtatayo ng bahay-bahayan? Ang presyo ng bilihin sa panahon mo, golden age, tulad ng bukang bibig ng loyalista. Golden sa mahal ng bilihin. Natawa nga ako. Actually, natawa ko dito, no? Kasi 5,000 dun sa partially damaged at 10,000 dun sa heavily damaged. O yung talagang buong bahay na damaged. Natatawa naman ako doon, no? So, ganun na ba kaliit ang tingin ninyo sa ano lang ang mabibili ng 5,000 at ano ang mabibili nung 10,000? Di ba sa ayuda, AX, 8,000? I think 10,000 kinukupit nila yung iba doon. 8,000 sa ayuda. Wala namang nangyari sa kanila. Di ba? Tapos ito, binabarat nyo. 5,000, 10,000. Naalala na ninyo yung lumabas sa Imbornal? Magkano binigay doon? Nagtago sa Imbornal, lumabas sa Imbornal, inabutan ng 80,000. Walang hiya. Tapos dito, burado yung bahay nila, 10,000. Walang hiya talaga to.
Gago nyo, mga tanga!
Ano pa? Maalala ko noon, grabe ang banat nila BBM at Romualdez sa pag-action ni Pino sa bagyong Yolanda, di ba? Kaya nga, kung sila yun, ganit-ganituin ang gagawin nila. Tignan nyo ginagawa nila ngayon, hindi ba mas malala? Oo. 10 times na mas malala. Tapos eto pa, ayan may nagreklamo. Ito. Sabi nung isa, a resident of Purok, Isla Verde in Talisay, Cebu. Sabi niya, has raised complaint after a barangay official reportedly marked his home as partially damaged. When in fact, wipe out yung kanyang bahay. Nakita ninyo yung corruption. Kaway-away pa minsan na assessment pero naman nasira ng bahay sa Baguio, pareho na ang ibigay para walang away. Oo, may 5,000, may 10,000. Grabe, kaluoy. Ano pa ang problema kasi sa administrasyon ay walang tiwala ang taong bayan, kaya yung trillion funds at foreign assistance na papasok, tanong agad ng tao, magkano naman sa inyo? Sino ba naman ang papaldo sa kickback? Nakakatawa nga diba? 5,000, 10,000 ang ibinibigay. Pero nung tinanong ang Malacanang, ang Palasyo, si Auntie Claire, anong sagot niya? Hindi pa natin kailangan sa ngayon ang international aid. Kasi meron pa naman tayong sapat. So you consider 5,000 and 10,000 sapat? Ito para sa'yo.
Gago nyo, mga tanga!
Yun, para sa'yo yan. Nasiraan ng bahay at ito yung sinasabi. Nasiraan ng bahay, Bagyo, bibigyan 5,000, 10,000. Babaeng lumabas sa Imbornal. Ako po, Diyos mio. Ito na yung headline ngayon. Rappler, ayan, sabi niya dito, di nag-usap yung magkapatid. Pero, ito kasi yan. Ito po kasi yan. Yan, dito nag-umpisa ang lahat. Nakakatawa kasi ombudsman ka na. Actually, mula pa nung, ano ba yung position niya dati? Remulla. Congressman. Okay. From there, naging DOJ, tapos tapos ngayon ombudsman na. From there hanggang ngayon may programa pa rin siya na regular dito sa DZRH. Itong programa nito, ano bang programa niyan? Basta yan, session something, executive session ng DZRH. From time to time, nagpupunta siya dyan at nagchichismisan sila dyan. So dito, in the middle of their discussion, nabanggit niya tungkol sa ICC ni Senator Bato. Panorin muna natin and then comment.
Oo.
Kasi public interest
Tama.
program to, that the ICC has issued a warrant against Senator Bato de la Rosa.
Parang
ICC has issued, past tense. Galing sa bibig.
ito pares.
Warrant of arrest.
Parang
At yan,
ICC to, no? International Criminal Court. No?
Ombudsman, sinasabi mo nga, kahit na wala na yan sa iyong current jurisdiction as ombudsman, di ba ito ay public interest? So yan ba ay confirmed na, ombudsman?
I think so. I
Tinanong ulit, yan ba ay confirmed na? I think so. Although may difference yung I think so sa I believe so. So medyo yan. Pero nauna niyang sabi is past tense. As confirmed. Alright? Tapos, I think so. It's more likely confirmation. Basta tandaan niyo yung mga keywords na ginamit niyo dyan.
would say so. Na I have it in good authority.
Oo.
Syempre, good authority. Sabi niya, I have it in good authority. May nagsabi sa akin. Sabi niya.
May nakipag-usap sa akin kanina.
May nakipag-usap sa akin sa kanina. Trillanes. Trillanes ba yan? Paki-amin nga.
Sana
Na kaya na-late ako may binarita lang sa akin.
Nagtrabaho ka muna.
Kaya na-late ka. Nag-meet ba kayo?
Oo.
Trabaho muna.
So paano ba?
Kasi ngayon, ang proseso kasi niyan,
Oo.
bago na kasi nung October 1, naglabas na ng new rules on extradition ang Supreme Court.
Supreme Court, okay.
So this is an extradition issue.
Extraditable
October 1 or October 27?
Extraditable offense.
Kasi I remember recently ata.
Ang tawag dyan kay Senator Bato would be an extraditee.
Mamaya pag-uusapan yan, extradition issue na yan Sige. Extradition matter.
Merong parang may inisyong guidance ba o decision o
Hindi, rules ng Supreme Court tungkol dito.
So ayan, ang kanyang pinagbabasehan is yung issuance ng Supreme Court ng rules, new rules. Actually, hindi siya new Binasa ko yun Hindi tayo abogado, pero sa aking pagkakaintindi doon sa new rules na yun ang dapat ginawa nila kay PRRD na hindi nila ginawa. Maalala ninyo nung nung kinidnap si PRRD nung March 11, di ba't meron tayong mga abogado na naghain ng petition sa Supreme Court with regard to the illegality of the kidnapping or illegal arrest. Sa tingin ko, ito na yung result. Ngayon lang lumabas. Kaya ang pinapalabas ng mga to, naglabas ng new rules daw. Pero, yung nilabas ng Supreme Court is, I believe, the result of the petition during and after the illegal arrest of PRRD. Kaya nga ewan ko kung sino yung nag-post nun. Sabi si PRRD daw has ensured Senator Bato na hindi siya makikidnap. It is because of the new rules ng SC. And that new rules of SC ay papabor yan kay Senator Bato. And supposed to be papabor yan kay PRRD kung yun sana ang sinunod, yung nilabas nila na yan. Basahin ninyo. Okay, kahit hindi ka abogado, maiintindihan mo na dapat yun ang ginawa nila. Pero anong ginawa nila? Dinitain nila doon sa Villamor Air Base, inantay yung eroplano, then nilipad na nila kagad. That's illegal.
tungkol dito.
Para malinaw na lahat.
Extradition cases.
So ito papatak as an extradition case.
Yun ang lalabas dyan.
At
Galing sa bibig niya, lalabas na extradition case? Yes, sabi niya. Ombudsman ka na eh. Hindi tayo sa nagmamagaling. Hindi rin tayo abogado. Pero very simpleng understanding lang kahit hindi ka abogado. Base sa inilabas ng SC at saka yung sinasabing extradition, maiintindihan mo yun. Kahit kumunta ako, kahit siguro grade 5, maiintindihan about dyan. Hindi, no joke. That's true.
Government to be able to implement
explain natin.
is dapat sundin yung nasa guidelines
na
ng
bago.
Supreme Court. Na bago.
Kasi nga, hindi na tayo member ng Rome Statute. Wala na tayong treaty with the ICC.
Hindi member, wala nang treaty.
Yes.
Although we respect the ICC as
Was a
a legitimate foreign court. Magre-request nga sila ng extradition. Doon na tayo papunta.
So ano naman
Ang mangyayari dyan, they will have to file it with the DOJ through the Office of the Chief State Counsel. Sila ang mag-uusap, and the Solicitor General will be called to represent the government.
Meaning ICC. ICC will be the one filing.
Filing.
Ano ang tawag
ICC.
doon kung extradite?
Email request yan eh. Email request.
Kung extradite si Senator
Requesting party.
Yung requesting party.
ICC.
ICC ang
Yung
requesting
ICC.
party.
So they will have to pass dun sa mga channels
Guidelines. Yung rules.
based on the guidelines and rules recently issued by the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Ayun.
Ngayon, ang tanong ko naman, siyempre, di ba, just to be ano naman ang legal na mga proseso pwedeng sundin ni Senator Bato?
Siyempre, he will have to, he will also have to follow the rules. Basta may request sa kanya.
Pwede niya i-contest.
He will have to appear. But he will have to appear.
Okay.
Oh.
Hindi
Para
naman
to
yung
defend his rights.
Di ba? Galing sa bibig niya, he will have to appear. Saan? Malalaman na natin yan sa SC rules na sinasabi niyang nilabas.
Hindi naman yung abrupt na,
his rights.
di ba, bigla
Hindi abrupt.
siyang
Diba ganun ang ginawa nila kay PRD? Abrupt.
May process.
Hindi na
May
pwede yun.
process.
Dahil doon sa bagong
Bagong rules ng Supreme Court.
kinlarify ng Supreme Court. So, kailangan ng sundin yung
Binabalandra niya yung bagong rules ng Supreme Court, but that bagong rules of Supreme Court, sabi ko nga, pag inintindi nyo yan ay papabor kay Bato. At dapat yan ay papabor kay FPRRD kung tinunod nila yan during that time. Ngayon, ang point ko dito, sabi ko nga, naglalabas-labas itong si Ombudsman na ngayon sa programang ito, executive session, dapat hindi na kasi Ombudsman ka na. Actually, in fact, kahit nung DOJ ka, hindi ka na sana naglalabas sa mga ganitong programa. Kasi as a Secretary of Justice, as an Ombudsman, nagbibigay ka ng yung mga kung ano nung mga pahayag mo that would give a semblance of bias kasi meron ka ng mga nasasambit and take note, kayo yung nasa kawani ng gobyerno, dapat kayo you're showing yung pagiging fairness nyo, hindi yung may mga yung mga pahayag nyo kasi nagpapakita na meron na kayong luto na, kumbaga meron na kayong posisyon, sariling posisyon with regard to that. Napakahalata na. Ngayon, nagbanggit siya with regard to the ICC arrest and sabi niya confirmed. Okay? Somewhat confirmed. And meron nang nilabas. Pero mismong ICC, okay, ang nagsabi.
Pero sabi ni ICC spokesperson Fadi El Abdallah, tanging sa official communications channels at press releases lang makikita ang mga ulat kaugnay sa ICC. Sa ngayon, walang anumang arrest warrant sa ICC website.
ICC ang nagsabi niyan. Pangalawang nagsabi,
Si Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, sinabing wala pa silang natatanggap na opisyal na report, pero maaari raw na naglabas na nga ng warrant ang ICC at hindi ito dumaan sa Interpol. Wala pa rin daw natatanggap
Pangatlo, itong si kapatid niya.
Gap si Interior and Local Government Secretary John Vic Remulla na red notice mula sa Interpol.
All that information came from Senator Trillanes. I heard the same.
All that information came from Senator Trillanes. Diba? Kaya nga sabi ko, anong sabi ni Remulla? May nagsabi sa kanya. Kaya nga umubo ako sa sabi ko, Trillanes. Trillanes. And then ito, kasi sabi ni Attorney Rowena Guanzon, hindi nag-uusap yung magkapatid. Oh, hindi nga ba sila nag-uusap o ano?
But I checked with the Center for Transnational Crimes. Ay wala naman nakukuhang red notice. Unverified news.
Oh, take note. All that information came from Senator Trillanes. Senator Perntao, Senator eh. Ngayon, what I am seeing here, eto, take note, what I'm seeing here, for being a loudmouth, itong ombudsman ngayon, dakdak ng dakdak, nadulas, o kaya gusto niyang pangunahan yung balita. Okay? Na according to this kapatid niya, lahat ng information na ito ay nanggagaling kay Trillanes. Balikan natin yung kay PRRD during that time. Hindi ba si Trillanes yung maingay na nagbibigay ng information na malapit na yung warrant of arrest, malapit na. And during that time, ang laki ng duda natin na meron ngang warrant of arrest. Parang sabi niya hanggang salita lang yan, hindi totoo kasi wala tayong jurisdiction. Okay? Only to find out, okay, na totoo pala yun. Na meron nga talaga. So, yung loudmouth during that time is si Trillanes. Yung loudmouth ngayon is si Boying Remulla. Ngayon, anong ginawa? Ang ginagawa ni Bersamin, nitong si John Vic, at especially yung spokesperson ng ICC, anong sabi nila? Wala pa. Ang nakikita ko dito, they are very quick to parang to hide the truth, to hide the news, because dito sa anong tawag dito kay Remulla, sa bibig niya na hindi niya mapigilan, sa kanyang kapalpakan, sa kanyang pagiging careless, these people, they're very quick to negate what Remulla has already said. So yung sinabi ni Remulla, I believe na totoo yun at meron yun. Remember, going back to PRRD, March 7, meron ng warrant of arrest na inilabas. Pero hindi nila nilagay yan sa website ng ICC. Kaya nung pumunta si PRRD dito sa Hong Kong, March 9, right? March 9, tinitignan, usap-usapan lang, kumbaga nasa lang, kasi sinabi nila, yung balita, tumakas daw si PRRD, pumunta ng Hong Kong para iwasan yung warrant of arrest. Of course, Trillanes, in the people around him, they know already. Siyempre, loudmouth yan si Trillanes. Alam ni Trillanes during that time na meron naman talaga. Pero hindi nilagay ng ICC sa kanilang website ng March 7, hindi nila inilagay yan. Bakit? Para hindi makatakas si PRRD. That is the reason why nung lumipad si PRRD nung March 9 dito sa Hong Kong, nataranta sila. Okay? Yung group effort na sinasabi nitong si John Vic, group effort talaga yun. Minumonitor nila kung kailan yung balik, kung babalik ba. Tinitignan nila. Ewan ko kung may nagre-report sa kanila. Group effort nga di ba? So tuwang-tuwa sila nung pabalik na si PRRD ng March 11 dyan sa Pilipinas. Kasi meron talagang warrant of arrest. Itinago lang nila. Kasi ang takot lang nila, baka hindi na babalik si PRRD sa Pilipinas. But for PRRD, very confident na hindi yan mangyayari because matagal na siyang prosecutor, abogado, alam niya na hindi talaga pwede yan at wala tayong jurisdiction. Kasi we already, okay, umalis tayo sa membership ng Rome Statute or ICC during that time. 2019, 2020, effectivity 2021, wala na. So, malakas din ng confidence ni Tatay Digong na kahit ginaganon niya or nagsasalita siya against the government, malakas din yung kanyang kumpiyansa na hindi gagawin ni Marcos Jr. Little did he know na traitor talaga itong Marcos Jr. The blood of the Marcos, no? So, kung titignan natin, ito is just the 2.0 of what happened to PRRD. Nakita nyo ang sequential events or yung scenario that happened before is the same here. It's the same. Wag nilang sabihin wala, meron yan. Tinatago lang nila dahil itong si Remulla nadulas. Chismoso eh. I mean, loud mouth. Kaya nilabas niya sa programa without even thinking na, alam mo yun, parang masusunog niya ang plano nila kay Senator Bato. Kasi may posibilidad na baka aalis si Senator Bato ng bansa. So ano yung ginawa nitong mga taong ito? Pinacify nila yung headline. Pinacify nila para mag-relax konti si Senator Bato. Pero meron na yan. Okay? Meron na yan. Naulit lang yung pangyayari. Alright? So, yan yung nakikita ko dyan. Sabi kasi ni Attorney Rowena Guanzon, hindi nag-uusap yung dalawa. Para sa akin, pwede silang hindi nag-usap kasi iba yung sinabi ni John Vic, iba yung sinabi ni Boying. Pero, ako ang nakikita ko dyan, nadulas lang talaga itong si Boying Remulla. Yung chinismis sa kanya ni Trillanes, abay, syempre, siguro sa tingin niya kasi ako yung unang mag-spill out ng balitang ito, di ba? Hindi niya naisip na ganun. Kaya they're very quick to negate yung sinabi nitong si Anyway, titignan natin yung sinabi ni Boying Remulla about doon sa pinost din ito ni Attorney Rowena Guanzon about doon sa new rules ng extradition proceedings. Kung makikita natin dito, dated niyang April 8, 2025 resolution, no? Kaya, Supreme Court Anbang has approved the rules on extradition proceedings in a resolution dated April 8, 2025. Kaya nga sabi ko, itong bagong rules na ito is the result of the petition sa Supreme Court during that time. Ngayon lang talagang na-aprobahan, kumbaga. So ito, kung babasahin natin kay abogado ka man o hindi, no? Very self-explanatory ito kung babasahin natin. Kung isasummarize natin in one sentence, itong bagong rules ng extradition proceedings na ito yung mga ini-explain natin dati after Tatay Digong was illegally arrested. Na dapat, nakalagay dito dapat dalhin mo na sa competent judicial court, dinggin kung tama ba, kung eto ba si PRRD ang nakapangalan talaga doon sa warrant of arrest, kung tama ba na may jurisdiction ang ICC dito sa kasong kinakaso sa kanya. Yun yung mga, basically, ito yung nakalagay dyan. But dito kasi, ang term dito is extradition. I mean, ito kasi wala namang specific na ito ay about doon sa Rome Statute ng ICC or about doon sa ICC. Walang kumbaga ang mga terms dito is extradition treaty, requesting state, diba? requesting party, receiving state, parang gano'n, requesting state. Unang-una, dito pa lang sa extradition, kaya nga sabi ni Boying Remulla, extradition. Dito pa lang sa extradition, technically, hindi po pwede i-apply ito kay Senator Bato. Bakit? Ang requesting party, kung ito i-apply natin, ang requesting party is the ICC. Saan yung ICC? Netherlands. As far as I know, wala tayong extradition treaty sa the Netherlands. I believe. I mean, kung dito natin ibabase, I think and I believe na wala tayong extradition treaty. Okay, let's try. Let's try to see, no? Para ma-verify natin. Extradition treaty with Netherlands and Philippines. Yan kung meron. Ayan, no? Napakalinaw. Philippines and the Netherlands do not have a bilateral extradition treaty. Diyan pa lang, wala na. Tapos na ang laban, wala. Diba? No direct extradition treaty. As in, diyan pa lang, tapos na yung laban. So, technically, if we want to apply extradition kay Senator Bato to the requesting party, the Netherlands, totally X kasi walang extradition treaty yan. But, okay, sige, sabihin na natin, okay, just for the sake of argument, sige, ilagay na natin dito yung extradition treaty. Kahit na ilagay natin yung extradition matter dito kay Senator Bato, hindi pa rin basta-basta madadala si Senator Bato sa ICC using these new rules ng extradition proceedings ng inilabas ng Supreme Court. Sige, tignan natin ang mga ilang mga ano dito, no? Ilang mga details. Extradition means the removal of the extraditee from the Philippines. Extraditee is Senator Bato. Okay, requested state is yung Philippines, to place them at the disposal of foreign authorities, the requesting state, that's ICC, to hold them in connection with criminal investigation directed against them or for the execution of penalty under the penal or criminal law of the requesting state. Dito pa lang, execution of a penalty under the penal or criminal law of the requesting state. Okay, so iba yung style nila doon. Paano nila dinggin? Ano yung liability or punishment nila doon. Next, an extraditee, okay, Senator Bato, is any individual in the Philippines suspected to be within its territory whose extradition or provisional arrest for the purpose of extradition is requested by the requesting state. Wala ngang extradition treaty, diba? Next, extradition proceedings are conducted to verify whether the requested complies, whether the request complies with applicable laws and treaty. Wala tayong treaty, okay? And to assess if the individual is extraditable. Ito yung sinasabi natin na kailangan pang dinggin, alright? Kailangan pang dinggin the extraditee kung siya ba ay extraditable. These proceedings are summary and do not involve a determination of the guilt innocence of the extraditee. Tama yung in-explain natin nung una, no? Kay PRRD. I-determine pa sa competent court kung extraditable talaga siya, not to determine kung guilty siya or innocent. Extradition is permitted only when the crime is punishable under both Philippine law and the law of the requesting state. Okay? Even if the terminology or the elements of the offense differ under the said laws, extradition can still be granted if the act is considered a crime in both countries and satisfy the elements of offense in each jurisdiction. The question there is, wala nga tayong extradition treaty. Kahit anong sabihin niya dito, ano? Next, if the extradite is wanted to serve a sentence of imprisonment, ito wala ito kasi hindi pa naman siya, wala pa namang sentence kay ano. Next, an action for extradition is commenced when the Secretary of Justice, DOJ, or any designated authorized state counsels of the Office of the Chief State Counsel files a verified petition with the extradition court. So, nasa DOJ pa rin yan. Nasa kamay ng DOJ or any authority in the Philippines kung magfa-file sila ng petition, okay, with the extradition court. Saan ba yung extradition court? It is sa Pilipinas. Iyon nga yung sinasabi natin, competent court. Regardless anong court man yan. Basta importante, ang court na yan, yung extradition hearing na yan, gagawin sa Pilipinas. So malalaman pa rin yan pag magfa-file ang DOJ, ibig sabihin, ang Pilipinas ang nakikipag-cooperate sa ICC. Di ba, paulit-ulit nilang sinasabi na hindi tayo makipag-cooperate kasi wala tayong jurisdiction. But the moment na magfa-file ang DOJ or any authority in the Philippines, ibig sabihin, nakikipag-cooperate sila sa ICC. In layman's term, in simpler term, is as sila. Next, the petition must contain the information laid down in the rules and must include supporting documents certified by the principal diplomatic consular. So, kailangan nilang magpalabas pa rin ng kanilang mga ebidensya. Okay? Page 2. Tingnan natin. Page 2, Officer of the requesting state in the Philippines or as provided in the applicable extradition treaty. Wala nga extradition treaty. Paulit-ulit nating sinasabi. Before issuing warrant of arrest, the extradition court, Philippine court, must review the petition ex parte to check if it is sufficient in form and substance, complies with the law and applicable extradition treaty. Wala nga ang extradition treaty. Ulitin ko ulit. Okay? So, ibig sabihin nito, kailangan, sige sabihin natin meron for the sake of argument. Kailangan pa rin nila okay? Kasi ang requesting party is ICC Kailangan pa rin nilang i-review, okay, yung petition to check if sufficient in form and substance that magko-comply ito sa extradition treaty. Napaka-basic sa totoo lang. Paano nila, ano i-review nila? Kung mismo extradition law, wala nga tayo with the ICC or Netherlands. Wala nga tayo So, medyo and there is a probable cause that the person name is the same one identified in the warrant of arrest. Ito yung sinasabi natin na dapat dinggin mo na sa competent court. Ito yun. Yung ini-explain pa natin nung sinauna pa. Okay? Given na sabihin na natin. Kasi ito ang term na nito is extradition court Extradition court. Ito yung sinasabi natin na competent judicial court or competent court. Ngayon, ang term kasi dito is extradition court. Now, ulitin ko. Supposing na meron ngang extradition. Okay? Meron ngang extradition. Ngayon, ang sabi dito, before the requesting party issues warrant of arrest, kailangan nila muna mag-apply or i-review yung petition kung itong tao na ito, kung si Senator Bato ay probable cause that the person named is the same one identified in the warrant of arrest. Kung si Senator Bato ba ito? Kung si PRRD ba ito ang nakapangalan? O hindi? Kung itong kaso ba ito ay yun yung kaso na kinakaso sa kanya? O hindi? Or judgment issued by requesting party, the requesting state, the offense is extraditable offense and the person committed the offense. So, kailangan yung mga details ba? Senator Bato, ito ba yung kanyang offense? Ang extraditable ba ito? Hindi. So, kailangan muna yan dinggin sa competent court. If these requirements are met, the court will issue warrant of arrest. So, ito na po yung sinasabi. Pag na-determine na sa competent court, okay, pwede na, can be served anywhere in the Philippines. The warrant will also be uploaded electronically for nationwide enforcement. Kahit saan si Senator Bato, basta met na yung requirements. If arrested, the extraditee shall be detained at the NBI detention facility in the city or province where the court is located, or if unavailable at the detention facility nearest to the court. Anong ginawa nila kay PRRD? Sa Villamor Air Base. Nakakatawa. The court may also issue whole departure order. So alam na natin yan. The testimonies of witnesses shall not be required. Hindi po kailangan. And judgment may be rendered based solely on the pleadings and documents. However, if the presentation of testimonies is found necessary by the extradition court, witnesses must be fully examined in 1 day. If the extradition court allows the presentation of witnesses, it shall render judgment within 30 calendar days. So, ibig sabihin, hindi agad-agad na ililipad si Senator Bato. 30 days pa yan. 30 days after the last witness is presented. In case no witnesses are presented, the extradition court shall render judgment within 30 calendar days. So, ibig sabihin, 30 days and another 30 days, that's 2 months already. Or upon expiration of the period for its filing. So, 2 months pa. Dito pa lang sa start. The petition must be granted if a prima facie case exists showing that A, the petition complies with the law and the treaty. Law? Okay. But treaty? Wala tayo. B, the extraditee is the same person identified. Doon pa ulit-ulit, di ba? Kung same person ba ito? Indictment judgment issued by requesting a state. C, the offense is extraditable offense. The offense is extraditable offense. In fact, even the person is not extraditable. Bakit? Wala nga tayong extradition treaty. Paulit-ulit. The extraditee committed the offense. None of the grounds for mandatory refusal under the treaty or international law convention raised by the extraditee exist. Next, if the extraditee is also facing criminal charges or serving sentence, ito wala to, hindi to hindi yan applicable kasi wala mo namang offense pa ngayon si hindi naman siya nakakulong, di ba? Next, appeals may be filed with the Court of Appeals, which will pause the execution of the decision. Pwede pala sa Court of Appeals. This will be our competent court. This will be our extradition court. Court of Appeals, hindi po Villamor Air Base. The CA must decide within 90 days, calendar days from the time the appeal is submitted for resolution. Its decision will be final and executory. Ibig sabihin, 30 days doon sa petition, 30 days for another petition of the witnesses, and then 90 days dito sa decision of the appeals. Sabagay, within 90 days pa naman yan. So, hindi po kagaya yung ginawa nila kay PRRD na nilipad nila on the same day. Nagbasa na sila ng warrant of arrest without even confirming if doon sa warrant of arrest, yun ba talaga ang tao, ito ba talaga ang kaso, kung merong bang jurisdiction or blah blah blah. Hindi ganun ang ginawa nila. So, pwedeng mag-bail pa. Pwede pang mag-bail sa extradition proceedings. Bail during extradition proceedings is subject to the court's discretion. Meron pa yan. So, ibig sabihin, matagal pa yan. Siguro by the time na matapos or by the time na there will be a decision from the CA, syempre may bail pa, di ba? Baka 2028 na. It will not be granted if the extradite is being extradited to serve a sentence or has been convicted but not yet sentenced. Bail may be granted only if the extradite proves that they are not a flight risk and will not follow all court orders. Ang system nga wala nga tayong extradition treaty. So regardless of this, regardless of this clause, wala rin kasi wala nga tayong treaty. If there is an urgent need to arrest the extradite before receipt of a request for extradition, the central authority may instruct the NBI to file an ex parte application for provisional arrest with the court where the extradite resides. Or, if unknown, that which jurisdiction over the place where the central authority is located. If the requests for extradition and the supporting documents are not submitted within 60 days calendar days, diba? Ang dadami. Provisional arrest of the extradite or within the period stated in the treaty. Wala tayong treaty. If the extradite will be automatically released or their bail discharged, but may be rearrested if a request for extradition is later submitted. So, mayroon pa tayong mga proseso dyan na talagang kailangan pa nilang mag-submit. Either yung ICC or maybe yung DOJ. Sasubmit pa nila yan. Kung urgent, mag-submit sila ng urgency receipt or request. Parang ganon. 60 days calendar. Within 60 days pa yan. If the extradite voluntarily surrender, which hindi naman gagawin ni Senator Bato yan, they waive their right to extradition proceedings by filing a notarized affidavit of waiver. So, hindi, pag si Senator Bato sumuko voluntarily, hindi na kailangan pumunta sa competent court or hindi na kailangan pumunta sa extradition court. Once extradition is granted, jurisdiction over the extradite shall be turned over to the requesting state. So, pag natapos na ito, pag na-determine na ang jurisdiction, lahat na yung mga yan, mga petition, tapos na. Once na tapos na yun, na-open na yung jurisdiction. Okay, di ba wala nang jurisdiction? Once na na-turn over na yan sa ICC, tapos na. Open na yung jurisdiction. Kaya nga, ang ginawa nila kay PRRD, walang illegal nga eh. Walang competent court. Lahat ng mga rights ni PRRD, hindi nila sinunod. Dinala nila kaagad sa jurisdiction. Ibig sabihin, once you land on the on the place of the ICC, tapos na yung lahat. Yung jurisdiction surrendered na. The sovereignty was surrendered to the Netherlands once na nilagay mo sila sa soil ng ICC. Ganun yan. O, yan o. Over the, ayan. Any property found, okay, hindi na yan. All costs extradition proceedings will be paid by requesting state. Unless stated otherwise in the treaty. Pero itong nangyari nito, all cost of extradition proceedings will be paid gastos ng Pilipinas. Yung eroplano, gasolina ng eroplano, Pilipinas, taong bayan, tax natin yon. Diba? Ginasunilan natin yung eroplanong ginamit nila. So basically, etong rules na ito ay the result of the petition filed last April 2025. And ngayon lang siya lumabas na magte-take effect ng November 10, 1 month after October 25, mag-e-effect. So, November 10 ang effectivity nito. And yun nga, parang para sa akin kumbaga, ang ginagawa, ang sinabi ni Remulla is ito daw ang i-apply nila. Una, wala tayong extradition treaty. Pangalawa, sinabi na lang niya ito, sinite niya itong new rules ng SC dahil wala pahiya na sila doon sa ito yung result kasi nung petition natin sa SC. Ito yung result na dapat dalhin mo na sa competent court. So this is the confirmation na meron talagang paglabag doon sa ginawa nila kay PRRD. Ngayon, hindi nila basta-basta magagawa kay Senator Bato yung ginawa nila kay PRRD. But take note guys, take note. Yung ginawa nila kay PRRD, that is not doable to any administration. Supposedly, not doable. Okay? Not doable. Ibig sabihin, kung i-apply natin yung clause ng ICC, tingnan natin na yung clause ng ICC dito sa, saan ba yan? Saan yung clause ng ICC with regard to that? Ayan. The Philippines became a state party on its ratification of the statute on November 1, 2011. It ceased to be a state party from 17 March 2019. 1 year after giving notice of its withdrawal on 17 March 2018, in accordance with the Article 127, Section 1 of the Statute UN, Notification of Philippines Withdrawal from the Statute 17-2018. So, ibig sabihin, 2018, yung withdrawal, 2019, yung effectivity. Yun. So, ibig sabihin, kung ito ang ifa-follow natin, a clause from the Rome Statute na pwede kang mag-withdraw, wala talaga tayong jurisdiction. Wala silang jurisdiction sa atin. So, any administration, not doable na isusuko mo yung constituent mo, yung tao mo sa isang korte na wala nang jurisdiction sa atin. Pero yung not doable na yan, ginawa ng Marcos administration na doable. Ibig sabihin, yung imposible gawin, ginawa nilang posible by abusing their power. Illegal arrest. But they came up with they devised the thing na from illegal, they showed to us na legal yung kanilang ginawa by looking to another venue which is Interpol. Kasi hindi talaga pwedeng ipilit na by jurisdiction tayo sa ICC kasi wala naman talaga paulit-ulit nilang sinabi yan From the Solgen to the DOJ to the Ombudsman, wala talaga. So they came and used another venue which is Interpol. So sabi ko nga, kahit dito sa in-explain natin na ito, yung bagong rules ng SC, not doable kasi wala tayong extradition treaty, not doable kasi kailangan dalhin sa competent court, ginawa nilang doable. Because they're in power. They're in the position. Kaya nilang gawin, kaya nilang tanggalin sa pwesto yung naluklok na ng taong bayan. Ipalit yung natalo sa eleksyon. Kayang-kaya nilang gawin yan, lahat. Kaya nilang kasuhan yung mga tao na hindi naman talaga sila yung involved or hindi naman talaga sila yung direct na may involvement sa corruption. Kaya nilang kasuhan yun at protektahan yung totoong mastermind ng corruption. So anything that is doable, they make it doable. Ganun ang administrasyon ngayon. Kaya nga, ito yung warrant of arrest kay Senator Bato, kahit sa explanation natin na not doable, kaya nilang pwede. Kasi nga nagawa nga nila kay PRRD eh. So, the new rules of SC, may 30 days, 90 days. Ibig sabihin, by that time, 2027 na, filing of candidacy na, next year, 2028 na, may bagong presidente na. Kaya nilang gawin yan within a day. That's what they did to PRRD.
Si Ombudsman Boying Remulla ang nagsabi na ipinaaresto na ng ICC si Senator Bato de la Rosa kaugnay sa madugong war on drugs. Nasa frontline ng balitang yan si Camille Samonte.
May inilabas na raw ng warrant of arrest ang International Criminal Court laban kay Senator Bato de la Rosa. Ito ang kinumpirma ni Ombudsman Boying Remulla sa News 5 ngayong araw. Kaugnay ito sa madugong kampanya kontra droga na...
Di ba? Kinumpirma. Ngayon, very quick naman to the rescue itong si Tito Soto. Tito Soto pala. Sabi niya, Senate President Tito Soto III said that no senator can be arrested inside the Senate premises, citing institutional courtesy amid reports that the ICC issued a warrant of arrest against Senator Bato. Ang gandang pakinggan, di ba? Kasi parang Senate President is protecting his own senators. Pero sabi ko sa inyo, huwag kayong magpakampante. Kasi ganyan ang nangyari kay PRRD. They made it sure na magkampante si PRRD. Ako, alam ko na nagsisisi si PRRD na bumalik ng Pilipinas. I mean, kung ako I do believe na nagsisisi si PRRD kung bakit siya bumalik ng Pilipinas noong March 11. Although alam ko naman na kaya niyang harapin. Kaya niyang harapin kagaya nung pagpunta niya sa House, pagpunta niya sa Senado, pagharap niya kung may kasong ikakaso sa kanya sa Pilipinas, kaya niya yun. Provided that they do it legally. But doing it illegally, how can you? Hindi ka mananalo sa illegalities. Hindi ka mananalo. So, anong ginawa nila? Pinakakampante nila si PRRD during that time. You can see from his demeanor, facial reactions, and mga sagot niya nung last minute bago siya isakay sa eroplano. Diba? Prior to that, sabi niya, hindi ako paano ng buhay. Sabi niya gano'n. Or whatever, may mga sinabi siyang gano'n eh. Pero at the last minute, wala na siyang nagawa kundi sumunod. Otherwise, kawawa din yung mga pamilya niya during that time. But you can see from his last word during that time na if only na maibabalik niya yung pangyayari, hindi siya babalik ng Pilipinas. Kasi, alam niyo yun, yung sabi ko nga, yung not doable, ginawang doable nitong mga ito. Group effort eh. Anong laban mo sa group effort? Gobyerno yung kalaban mo. So, nakikita ko dito, sinasabi ni Tito Soto dito, na protektado. Na una na nating narinig from Senator Bato na kapag in case of this, magsisik refuge siya sa Senate. Doon siya maglalagi muna habang didinggin kung jurisdictional, kung legal ang gagawin sa kanyang pag-aresto. Ang nakikita ko dito, Senator Bato, huwag kang magtitiwala sa pagmumukhang yan. Kasi pinakakampante ka lang. Bakit? Kasi, if you remember, Trillanes nag-seek refuge sa Senado. Pero anong nangyari?
The court of law in the Philippines, you have the right to an attorney, to your own choice, independent and competent. If you cannot afford one,
naaresto siya sa loob ng Senado. Ganon din ang nangyari kay De Lima.
The running feud between the administration and Senator Leila De Lima over the issue of the proliferation of illegal drugs at the National Penitentiary during the previous administration, CA came to a head this
morning. Members of the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group arrested former Justice Secretary and now Senator Leila De Lima. Before she was turned over to CIDG, strict security was given to her by the Senate Sergeant-at-Arms.
So nakita niyo yan? Etong dalawang ito, nasa likod din ito. Kasama yan sila sa Operation Bring Down Duterte. So, part of what they're doing now is revenge din. Kasama din, very personal din ito. So, alam nila na lahat pwedeng mangyari. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na, institutional courtesy. Na pwede kang mag-seek refuge sa Senate. Sa, sa vicinity or sa premise ng Senado. Not true. They can do anything they want. Kasi alam nila, nangyari sa kanila yan di ba? So, ito, wag tayo magtitiwala dyan. Ngayon, kung titignan natin, ito po, ang decision ng ICC, March 13 pa lang ito, May decision ng pre-trial chamber. Ayan, ng mga judges na yan. Kung titignan natin, ito po yung prosecution, version of prosecution application sa against Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Nakapaloob po dito. Kahit redacted yan, pero may mga pangalan na rin si La Senator Bato dito. Makikita natin. Daming redacted dyan. Daming redacted. Pero makikita pa rin natin dito sa huli ang pangalan nila Senator Bato, si Aguirre. Ayan, nandito pa rin sila. De La Rosa. Ayan Lagay dito. Long-time ally and PNP chief appointee De La Rosa. Ito, magtataka ka Ito March 11 sinabi ni aplikante. Sinabi ni Senator De La Rosa. Talagang tinrowback pa nila itong mga sinabi ni Senator De La Rosa.
Ikaw ba, Senator, hindi ka nangangamba dun sa pagpasok ng ICC sa bansa natin?
Makikita ninyo yung confidence dito or kampante ni Senator dito.
Hindi ako natatakot.
Hindi natatakot.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Senator, to this day, wala po kayo natatanggap na invitation natin?
Wala.
Because last time we spoke to you, sabi niyo po, ayun yung tanggapin yung tawag.
Wala. Siguro nagsawa na sa kakakuntak sa opisina ko.
Nagsawa na,
Hindi na. Wala na tumatawag.
Letter, wala din po.
Wala na rin. Huminto na sila. Lalo na ngayon na pinaghahabol na sila ni President Trump.
Diba? We were on the same statement na sinasabi natin na protektado ni Trump si PRRD. But, only to find out, hindi naman. Hindi naman. Walang ginawang health aid or any, kahit man lang pahayag na talagang particularly mention si PRRD or ng Philippines during that time. Hindi Netanyahu lang, Israel. At Philippines, Duterte, wala. Sa totoo lang. Tila baga mukhang nabudol din tayo. Si Trump.
Sa US, di ba? Yung mga ICC, wala na. Hindi na sila nakikialam kasi sabi ni Trump, lahat ng mga nagpapacilitate ng pagpasok ng ICC investigation sa US at saka sa allied countries niya ay ipapa-revoke niya yung kanilang ipa-cancel yung visa sa US at saka ipa-freeze yung mga ari-arian sa US. Kaya siguro tumahimik na sila.
Di ba? Ganyan tayo kakampante dati, di ba? With PRRD, nung hindi pa na-arresta si PRRD. Our rhetorics, our narrative during that time is defending na, ay, wala talaga tayong jurisdiction, hindi nila magagawa yan kasi takot sila sa Amerika, blah, blah, blah. Di ba? And then, we came to know na meron naman talaga. Kahit tahimik pala sila, gumagalaw at nagtatrabaho sila, secretly, meron palang cooperation ng Pilipinas under Marcos administration with the ICC during that time. Little did we know.
Tapos na.
And we can see from Senator Bongo, March 11, kampante siya.
Problema sa ICC.
I can never say that because hindi ko man hawak yung ICC talaga eh. Basta ako, handa lang ako na just in case mag-issue sila ng warrant of arrest laban sa akin, laban sa amin, I am ready to challenge them before the Supreme Court. Hihingi ako I will seek judicial relief from Supreme Court if indeed itong ICC ba talaga ay mayroong jurisdiction sa ating bansa.
Diba? Lahat pwedeng magiging possible. Yung imposible, pwedeng maging possible. And in fact, napagdebatehan nga ito, sa Senate hearing with regard to yung paggamit ni Remulla during that time, the then Secretary, ng RA 9851. And dito nga nabisto ng hearing nito ni Senator Amy na talagang merong inconsistency at illegality ginawa nila sa paggamit ng RA 9851. Pakinggan natin ito.
Dapat sabihin na talaga yung katotohanan ay kahit we were assured that the ICC has no jurisdiction in the Philippines, the Philippine government chose to surrender, chose to cooperate, chose to build the case against President Duterte for the ICC and evade the national
Again, ma'am, I would go back to Republic Act 9851, which recognizes international tribunals.
Yes, pero nahihilo na po ang buong sambayanan. Sabi ng Pangulo, Interpol, sabi rin ni Secretary Manualo, sabi ni
the Interpol, ma'am, I was one of the first persons to say that the Interpol would play a part with whatever problems there would be with the ICC.
Ang naalala ko po si E.S. Bersamin din na nagsabi.
Before the E.S. said that, I said it already before.
Ay, ganun ba? Okay po. So may Interpol. Pagkatapos, maliwanag sa certification ni Prosecutor Fadulion, Rome Statute naman ang kanyang ini-invoke.
Di ba?
Pagkatapos, doon sa sinaunang
Interpol, tapos yun sa Rome Statute.
Hearing, ang SOJ natin, paulit-ulit na sinasaad na hindi ICC, kundi RA 9851 ang mahiwagang Section 17, Paragraph 2, last phrase. Tapos sabi naman, na iba na naman, naging IHL. Kahit wala namang gera.
IHL and 9851 I use in the same light, ma'am. Kasi,
pwede ba yun? Pagsabayin mo yung 9851 saka yung IHL? Hello, ito yung sagot ng mga ni Asconia dyan.
That's our version of international humanitarian law, which is Republic Act 9851.
Naku naman, paano naman naging customary pati jurisdiction at procedure? Hahayaan ko na lang. Pero sabi rin, walang jurisdiction ng ICC, pero may jurisdiction sa individual at sa krimen. Naku, parang panloloko na to, hinihilo na po ninyo kami. Gulong-gulo na ako eh. Ilang beses ko nang binabasa.
Hindi sana magulo to. Kung nag-withdraw tayo sa ICC, nirepeal din natin ng 9851. Hindi ho natin nirepeal eh. And it's supposed to be a companion bill. Kasi nauna pong
ibig sabihin, gumawa kayo ng paraan para lang talaga madala si PRRD doon. Kasi pwede naman nating hindi i-exercise yung 9851 kasi malayo nga. Malayo yung upon the definition of 9851, nagko-contradict yan doon sa Rome Statute ng ICC. Ginawa nyo ng paraan. Eh. Sabi ko nga, yung imposible, ginawa nyo yung posible.
As Republic Act 1951, bago po tayo nag-accede sa ICC. Which means talaga yung naging basis po ng ating accession sa ICC ay 9851. Pero ang problema ho, nung nag-advise po kay President Duterte na umatras tayo sa ICC, hindi po binigay yung advice na i-repeal din ang 9851.
Baka may maidagdag
ayan, ito sagot nila
Attorney Medina, yung constitutionalist natin, si Justice Ascuna. Talaga bang IHL ito? Talagang international humanitarian law, pati jurisdiction, procedure, administrative law, sakop na lahat ng IHL. Parang ang hirap naman tanggapin.
Madam Chair, while the...
This was in the previous hearing, to be fair po, not today.
Yes. The question is whether or not the Philippine IHL law is relevant since IHL is the law on armed conflict and there's no war. Okay. That is true, but then among the crimes covered by IHL is crimes against humanity. And crimes against humanity may be committed during peacetime as well as wartime. Consequently, the Philippine IHL, although generally addressing offenses committed during war, can also address offenses committed during peacetime, because, as I said, certain offenses, such as crimes against humanity, are by definition crimes that can be committed during wartime as well as peacetime.
Yes, that is to do with the nature of the crime po, Justice. Perhaps, Attorney Medina, you can bolt in. You were present in the first hearing.
Yun na nga eh. IHL is wartime, kumbaga. Wartime sa peace at saka wartime sa war. Parang gano'n, di ba? Pero, yung war on drugs, andun lang yung word na war. Pero there's no really war in there. Because that is a government system na puksahin yung pusher at user sa droga. Kumbaga, that is a government-owned policy. Kumbaga, drug war siya. War on drugs. May war. But how can you apply that to IHL? Is 1 point yan.
Pati ba naman jurisdiction, procedure, lahat yan sakop ng IHL?
The jurisdiction of the ICC remains under the concept of a complementary jurisdiction, meaning that it kicks in only if the national judicial system is genuinely unable to genuinely prosecute or investigate the suspect. So,
is that the case po in the Philippines? Are we...
Pag hindi daw natin kaya, yung ating own judicial, hindi kayang kasuhan si PRD or execute any case for PRRD.
Genuinely unable to prosecute?
In the case of former President Rodrigo Duterte, the ICC apparently has reached the conclusion that the Philippines is unable to genuinely prosecute him because no case was filed against him after so many years, even after he stepped down from the presidency.
O di hindi kasalanan hindi kasalanan ni PRRD yun. No case was filed nung mayor pa siya, nung presidente siya, at hanggang sa siya ay hindi na presidente. So, paano naging kasalanan? Hindi na niya kasalanan yun. DOJ na dati, si Laila de Lima, bakit hindi niya na sampahan ng kaso? Sabi niya may mga witnesses siya during that time. Oh, hindi pa presidente si Tatay Digong during that time. Wala, di ba? So, the mere fact na yung ICC came with their own decision or judgment na hindi kaya ng Pilipinas, it just shows na merong cooperation ng Pilipinas at ng ICC. Oh, kasi hindi magka-come up ng ganong rendering of decision ng ICC kung hindi sinabi ng Pilipinas na hindi namin kaya to.
That is the finding of the ICC, so they issued a warrant of arrest on the footing that they have their complementary jurisdiction.
Oh, diba? Term pa lang, complementary jurisdiction. Nag-complement ang Pilipinas sa ICC. It's a complementary jurisdiction. So ano, tatanggi pa ba ni Marcos Jr. na hindi sila nagkipag-cooperate?
Set in because the Philippines, as far as the former president is concerned, is unable to genuinely prosecute him.
However, if the cases, for example, that would emanate from the Quadcom, the DOJ task force, the Senate Blue Ribbon hearing, the ICC investigations that utilized all the government agencies, if these resulted in a case and they were filed in the Philippines, certainly the Philippine courts are competent, able, willing to rule on this, don't you think?
Exactly, di ba? Anong silbi? Akala ko ba ang gagaling ng mga Quadcom? Yung pala, kaya sila gumawa ng Quadcom para yun ang isa-submit nila sa ICC. Ang galing, di ba? Kaya nung nag-attend si PRRD sa House, yan, sige, finid sila ng mga questions si Tatay Digong para magkamali si Tatay Digong sa kanyang mga sinasabi. Sinumpang salaysay yun. Recorded yun. Yun ang kanilang mga isinabmit sa ICC. Yung sinabi, pumatay ako pinatay ko tong mga to. Pinatay. Recorded yun at yun ang ginawa nilang evidence sa ICC. Galing, di ba? Instead of using that evidence na yun sa sarili nating korte, na alam nila na walang basihan at hindi mananalo, kaya dinala nila ng sapilitan sa ibang jurisdiction.
So, Honorable Ascuna po and Attorney Medina?
Part of the reason perhaps of the inability to genuinely prosecute is the availability of witnesses. In cases of very high-level persons like former heads of state, the experience of the ICC is that the witnesses are generally afraid to testify in their home countries.
Experience nila yon, lalo na sa South Africa. Diba? Tayo, anong tingin nyo kay PRRD? Hindi na siya presidente. Meron pa ba siyang kakayahan? In fact, bakit buhay pa sila Cañas? Bakit buhay pa sila Matubato? Bakit buhay pa si Trillanes? Bakit buhay yung mga yan? That only proves na hindi ganun ang katatao ni PRRD.
So that even if the Department of Justice, for instance, is genuinely investigating the cases, the ICC resorted to
Yes, thank you very much, Justice. Attorney Medina, would you like to add something to
sana kaya si Medina ngayon?
To our understanding of IHL and procedure, jurisdiction, and such other matters?
Good Secretary, that I think I get the point of our good Secretary, that the crime of crime against humanity is not just an international law crime. It's actually a crime in the Philippines, punishable in the Philippines. And 9851 actually provides that
given
the
naman
person,
po yun, pero pati jurisdiction, pati procedure, lahat na lang naging customary law?
No, that's the problem po. That if we have to comply with international law, we have to also comply with the Philippine laws. Okay?
Yeah.
And primarily, that would be the Constitution. So international obligations, yes, there's the principle of Pactus Servanda that we have to comply with international obligations, but that does not necessarily mean that we have to disregard constitutional protections under the Bill of Rights. Now, of course, there are a lot of debates going on whether or not the ICC should have jurisdiction or should we recognize the ICC. And that's precisely the point. It's not for the police. It's not for the executive branch to decide that. Ultimately, it should have been decided by a court of law because it involves the deprivation of liberty.
Mas okay pa yung sagot niya kaysa kay Ascon niya. Eto, simple explanation in 2 minutes, no? With regard to the 9851 na laging binabalandra ni Remulla.
Sa Inside Fusion, mga kaibigan, sa video na ito, pag-uusapan natin ang Section 17 ng Republic Act No. 9851, kung saan naaangkop ba ito at kung bakit maaaring hindi ito angkop sa kaso ng dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Tara, simulan na natin. Ang Section 17 ng Republic Act No. 9851 ay nagbibigay ng jurisdiksyon sa Pilipinas para litisin ang mga krimen tulad ng genocide, crimes against humanity, at war crimes. Ayon sa batas, maaaring isuko o i-extradite ng Pilipinas ang isang akusado sa isang international na hukuman tulad ng ICC kung ito ay makakabuti sa interes ng hustisya. Ngunit may mahalagang kondisyon. Dapat ito ay alinsunod sa mga umiiral na extradition laws at treaties. Ngayon, bakit maaaring hindi ito angkop sa kaso ni Duterte? Una, walang extradition treaty ang Pilipinas sa Netherlands, kung saan
yan sinabi natin, wala.
Tagpuan ang ICC. Dahil dito, nagiging mahirap gamitin ang Section 17 bilang legal na batayan para isuko siya sa ICC. Pangalawa, ayon sa prinsipyo ng complementarity ng ICC, dapat munang litisin ang akusado sa custodial state. Sa kasong ito, sa Pilipinas, bago ito kunin ng ICC, maliban na lang kung hindi kayang gawin ng Estado o ng custodial state ang paglilitis. Sa madaling salita, bagamat nagbibigay ang Section 17 ng option para sa extradition, limitado ang aplikasyon nito kung walang extradition treaty o binding agreement.
Exactly.
Kaya't sa kaso ni Duterte, mas naaangkop na litisin muna siya sa Pilipinas bilang custodial state. At yan ang maiksing paliwanag sa Section 7.
Diba? Ginagamit nila yung 9851, wala nga tayong extradition treaty. Pangalawa, he was not heard sa sarili nating competent court. So doon pa lang may malinaw na paglabag. Ngayon, yung isa sa pinaka main character sa pag-illegal arrest kay PRRD, nasaan na siya ngayon? Kawawa. Floating status. Kaya sa mga nag-iisip dyan, mag-isip na kayo. Nag-iisip na gumawa na naman ng mga kabalbalan kagaya ng ginawa nitong si Tory na to. Mag-isip kayo kasi mga walang utang na loob ang mga ito. Kahit ibuwis pa ninyo ang buhay at status ninyo sa gobyernong ito, later on kapag hindi na kayo kailangan, basura na kayo. Kagaya nito, tingnan nyo.
Ubang binigay sa inyo?
Wala, nasa pihaw pa rin ako. Personal holding unit.
What's it like adjusting to, floating status from someone who was, commanding how many? 220,000 policemen.
It happened several times in my career. May mga transitions naman eh. So from one position to another, usually may mga transition.
Buti nga sa'yo.
Yan, 6 months. Before I was appointed as Comel ng Mariribo ko sa Quezon City, 6 months din na wala akong ginagawa nun. Yeah. So ganun talaga. Ganun talaga ang karir ng polis.
Pero dapat sabi, merong i-offer sa inyong position. What happened?
So, for the moment, wala pa. So, I'm just waiting for the order of the President. Dahil presidential appointee ako.
Asa!
So, he can put me where he deems proper or where he deems needed. He can always give me the order.
Tingin ko, tinatakot to. Para hindi magsalita. Alam ko, he's on the verge of saying something against the government, pero tinatakot to eh. Huwag ka na magsalita para ma-retain mo yung 4-star mo. Yun lang, lesson learned para sa mga gustong gumawa ng kabalbalan sa ating mga kababayan. No? Kaliwat kanan ng korupsyon. May nasalanta ng bagyo. Tapos ngayon, super typhoon parating. Andyan na nga actually. Pero ito pa inuuna nila. So, at the end of the day, sinong kawawa? Taong bayan. Ganito ng ganito hanggang sa matapos, kung matapos, ang kanyang termino.